Welcome to my channel. Subscribe, listen, and enjoy my stories every day. The city hums with the usual evening traffic as I steer my car through the familiar streets. My mind races ahead of me, though. Julia, my wife of 7 years, had another late meeting tonight, or so she claimed. It wasn't unusual, she'd been having these business meetings for the past few months. At first, I didn't question it. She had always been career-driven, always pushing forward, always moving. But something changed. The meetings became more frequent. The distance between us, more palpable. Tonight, something inside me snapped. A nagging thought crawled into my mind, refusing to leave. I needed to see her, to feel like everything was normal. But normal had become a memory. I pull up to the curb outside her office building. The towering glass structure looms over me, its fluorescent lights flickering in the twilight. My heart pounds as I step out of the car, my hand tightening around my phone. I stare at the building, hesitating for just a moment before walking toward the entrance. Should I have called first? No. If I'd called, she would have had time to prepare. I needed to see her as she was, caught in her routine. The receptionist greets me with a polite but puzzled smile as I step inside. "Good evening. Can I help you?" she asks, her fingers hovering over her keyboard. "I'm here to see Julia Cooper," I reply, trying to keep my voice steady. Her brows knit together, eyes flickering to the clock. "I'm sorry, sir, but Mrs. Cooper isn't here. She left the office hours ago. No one from her team is still in tonight." A chill runs down my spine, but I force a smile. Maybe she's running late. "Do you mind if I check her office myself?" The receptionist shrugs, clearly indifferent. "Go ahead." I head down the familiar hallway, my footsteps echoing in the eerie quiet. I reach Julia's office door and peer through the small window. As expected, the room is empty, her desk neat and undisturbed, as if she hadn't been there all day. My fingers twitch toward my phone. I dial her number. The call rings once, twice. Then she picks up. "Hey, love. What's up?" she answers, her voice smooth and casual, as if everything were perfectly normal. "Just wondering how your meeting's going," I say, trying to sound equally casual, though the tightness in my chest betrays me. "Oh, it's dragging," she sighs. "I'll probably be another hour or so." "Why?" "Just curious. I thought I'd surprise you with dinner later." There's a pause, so slight I almost miss it. "That sounds great. I'll text you when I'm done, okay?" I hang up without another word, my blood running cold. She's lying. I take a deep breath, dialing the number of one of her colleagues. Mark, a guy she's worked with for years. When he picks up, his voice is relaxed, oblivious to the storm brewing in me. "Hey, it's Liam. I just wanted to check, did Julia's meeting go late tonight?" "Meeting?" Mark sounds confused. "There wasn't any meeting tonight. We wrapped up at 4. She left right after." I thank him, barely registering his words as I end the call. I stand there for a moment, staring at the empty office space, my thoughts spinning. My pulse thunders in my ears, every beat a resounding confirmation of my worst fears. Julia's not at a meeting. She hasn't been at a meeting for weeks. It takes everything I have not to hurl my phone against the wall. My mind races with 1,000 questions, each one darker than the last. Where has she been? Who is she with? How long has this been going on? I walk out of the building, my breath heavy with betrayal. The weight of her deception presses down on me, choking every rational thought I have left. The warmth of the evening air feels suffocating. In that moment, I know one thing: my marriage is a lie. Everything we built, every promise we made, was a facade. I drive home, though I barely remember the trip. By the time I get there, my mind is already formulating a plan, a way to uncover the truth, to expose her. I won't confront her tonight. No, that would be too easy. Julia's been playing me for a fool, and she's not getting off that easily. When I walk through the door, she greets me with her usual smile, the same one that once made me feel like the luckiest man alive. Now, it only makes my skin crawl. "Hey, you're home early," she says, leaning in to kiss me. Her scent, once comforting, now feels like poison. I smile, forcing myself to play along. "Yeah, I thought I'd surprise you." She laughs, oblivious to the fury simmering beneath my calm exterior. "How sweet. Just give me a bit longer, okay? I'll wrap up and then we can eat." I nod, watching her walk away, my mind already devising the steps I'll take. Tomorrow, I'll hire a private investigator. I need proof, something undeniable. And when I have it, I won't just confront her. I'll destroy everything she's built, just like she destroyed us. I will not be the victim. Not anymore. As the night stretches on, Julia sits in the other room, her laughter drifting into the hallway as she chats on the phone, probably to him. Whoever he is. I grit my teeth, each sound pushing me closer to the edge. She thinks she's clever, hiding behind her lies. But she has no idea what's coming. Tomorrow, everything changes. The game begins now. The next morning arrives in a haze of tension. I barely sleep. Julia moves around the kitchen with practiced ease, oblivious to the weight that now hangs between us. She's humming under her breath as she pours coffee, acting as if everything is fine. Perfect, even. But I know better now. "Got any plans today?" she asks, placing a cup in front of me, her face the picture of innocence. I take a sip, hiding my disgust behind the rim. "Just work. Meetings, you know how it is." I glance at her over the cup, watching her carefully for any sign that she might be lying again, that familiar feeling of dread crawling up my spine. She nods, her attention already shifting back to her phone, fingers dancing across the screen. Probably texting him. My jaw tightens as I watch her. "Yeah, work's always crazy," she says offhandedly, still tapping away. "I've got another meeting tonight, but I shouldn't be too late." Another meeting. Of course she does. I bite back the bitter retort burning in my throat and instead offer a smile. "Don't work too hard." She laughs, and it cuts through me. How many times has she said this, spinning her web of lies while I played the fool? She doesn't realize I'm watching every move, listening to every word, waiting for the moment she slips. But not today. "Have a good day," she says, giving me a quick kiss on the cheek before grabbing her bag and heading out the door. I stand there, listening as her car pulls out of the driveway, the sound fading into the distance. And then I'm moving, heart pounding in my chest. I dial the number of the private investigator I found late last night. Tim Riley. His reputation is solid, discreet, efficient, and ruthless. Just what I need. The phone rings twice before he picks up. Riley, his voice is curt, all business. "It's Liam Cooper. I need your help." There's a brief pause. "Right. You mentioned your wife's been distracted lately." I clench my fist. More than distracted. She's been lying about work. I need to know where she's going, who she's with. I want it all. Riley hums in acknowledgement. "I'll start today. I'll need her schedule, car details, any habits you know of. I've done this before, so I'll get what you need." I exhale slowly, tension tightening my chest. "Good. I'll email everything right away." We hang up, and I immediately send him Julia's details, my fingers flying over the keyboard. The plan is in motion, and soon, I'll have the proof I need. Proof that will rip apart the carefully constructed life she's been living behind my back. The rest of the day drags. I try to focus on work, but my mind is elsewhere. Every minute that passes feels like a weight pressing down on me. I keep glancing at my phone, waiting for updates from Riley, but it remains silent. Each moment without a message feels like an eternity. By late afternoon, I can't take it anymore. I step outside my office and call Riley again. "Anything?" I ask, my voice tense. "Patience," he replies. "I've got eyes on her. She left the office around noon, met with someone at a cafe. Couldn't get a clear shot, but I'll know more by tonight. You'll have everything you need soon enough." I hang up, pacing the sidewalk, the city's usual bustle a blur around me. My hands itch to do something, anything. But all I can do is wait. Later that evening, I sit at the kitchen table, pretending to read the newspaper when Julia comes home. The sound of her heels clicking against the tile makes my skin crawl. She steps into the room, her expression casual, as if nothing in the world is wrong. But I can see it now, every smile, every word, it's all part of her performance. "Hey, babe," she says, dropping her bag on the counter and stretching. "Long day. God, these meetings are killing me." I suppress the urge to confront her right then and there, my knuckles turning white as I grip the edges of the paper. Instead, I glance up with a smile I don't feel. "Tough day." She shrugs, opening the fridge. "You have no idea. Everyone's stressed about the upcoming project. It's chaos." "Liar." I nod, pretending to listen as she rattles off some mundane details about her day. But my mind is already elsewhere, waiting for the moment she slips up. It has to happen eventually, right? Later, after dinner, she retreats to the bedroom, claiming exhaustion. I wait until I hear the soft rhythm of her breathing before I check my phone. There's a message from Riley. I open it, my heart racing. It's a photo. Julia, sitting at a small table in a dimly lit restaurant, laughing. Across from her is a man, someone I don't recognize. His hand rests on hers, their fingers intertwined. I feel my stomach drop. Riley's next message is short, but it's all I need. This is the guy. She's been meeting him regularly. I stare at the photo, my mind going blank for a moment. So, this is him. The man she's been spending her nights with, lying to me for months. I close my eyes, taking a deep breath as the reality of it settles over me. This isn't just a fling. This is something more. And now, I have the proof. The next morning, Julia leaves for work early, as usual. But today, I don't wait for her to go before I act. I call Riley again. I want more, I tell him. I need to know everything about this guy. Where he lives, what he does. I want every detail. You sure about that? Riley asks, a note of caution in his voice. I'm sure. I end the call, my mind already spinning with possibilities. This isn't just about catching her in the act anymore. It's about making her feel the same betrayal she's inflicted on me. I want to watch her life unravel the way she's unraveled mine. And the best way to do that? Take away everything she holds dear. Piece by piece. I sit at the kitchen table, a cold smile forming on my lips as I map out the steps in my head. It won't be enough just to confront her, to yell and scream and walk away. No. Julia's going to pay for what she's done. I'll ruin her. And when it's over, when she's standing in the ashes of the life she's so carefully constructed, she'll understand what it feels like to be betrayed. To be lied to. To be destroyed from the inside out. This is only the beginning. The rest of the day is spent planning. I'll need to be careful, strategic. Julia's always been smart, always ahead of the curve. But not this time. She won't see this coming. Not from me. The next few days pass in a blur of strategy and patience. I've learned to mask my anger, wear the face of a devoted husband while my mind churns with plans. Each morning, Julia leaves for work, and each evening she returns home, playing her role to perfection. She laughs, she smiles, she lies. And I smile back, pretending to be the fool she thinks I am. But things are different now. Each time she leaves the house, I know exactly where she's going. Tim Riley has been following her closely, sending me photos, recordings, everything I need to piece together her betrayal. She meets him every chance she gets. Their dates, their stolen moments, they're all meticulously documented. The evidence is damning. The man, David, is nothing special. A smooth-talking executive at some tech company, typical. He's got the flashy car, the expensive suits, the confidence of someone who thinks the world owes him something. And now, he has Julia. But not for long. I sit at the kitchen table one evening, staring at the stack of photos spread out in front of me. There's Julia, sitting in a cozy corner of a restaurant with David, her hand resting on his arm, her lips curled into that smile I used to think was meant only for me. And there's David, leaning in close, whispering something in her ear that makes her laugh. I can feel the rage boiling just beneath my skin, but I force it down. I can't lose control. Not yet. I pick up my phone and dial Riley. Yeah, he answers on the first ring. I need the next step, I say, my voice steady but cold. I'm ready. Riley pauses for a moment. You sure you want to do this? This isn't just about catching her anymore. If you go through with this, it's going to get ugly. I close my eyes, gripping the edge of the table until my knuckles turn white. I've never been more sure of anything. There's a sigh on the other end of the line, but Riley doesn't argue. All right. I've got enough dirt on both of them to blow this wide open. You say the word, and I'll leak it. Her colleagues, her friends, everyone's going to know. Not yet, I say. I need to make sure she feels it first. This isn't just about exposure. It's about ruining her. Then what's the plan? I smile, even though Riley can't see it. I want David's wife in on this. There's a brief silence. You sure that's a good idea? She deserves to know, I reply, my voice low. And I want to see how Julia handles the fallout. She'll think she's safe, but I want her world to collapse from the inside. All right, Riley says, though there's hesitation in his tone. I'll track her down. She won't know what hit her. Underscore 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 underscore. The next evening, Julia is in the shower when I get the text from Riley. Her name is Olivia. I've arranged a meeting for you tomorrow. I look up as Julia steps out of the bathroom, her hair wet, a towel wrapped around her. She smiles at me as she walks to the closet, completely unaware of what's brewing beneath the surface. I almost laugh at how easily she's fallen into the trap, how she thinks she's invincible. Busy day tomorrow, she asks, rifling through her clothes. Yeah, I reply, keeping my voice casual. A lot going on at the office. She nods, seemingly uninterested. Same here. Another late meeting. Of course. I swallow my disgust and force a smile. Don't work too hard. She smirks, oblivious. I'll try not to. As she gets into bed, I lie beside her, feeling the weight of her betrayal pressing down on me. But I don't confront her. Not yet. I let her believe the lies for one more night. The next afternoon, I pull into the parking lot of a quiet cafe downtown, my stomach churning with anticipation. I've thought about this moment for days, but now that it's here, the reality feels heavier than I expected. I grip the steering wheel, taking a deep breath before stepping out of the car. Inside, the cafe is quiet, the soft murmur of voices blending with the scent of fresh coffee. I scan the room until I see her, Olivia, sitting alone at a corner table, her hands wrapped around a coffee cup. She's attractive, with dark hair pulled into a neat bun and an air of calm composure that contrasts sharply with the storm brewing inside me. I approach the table, and when she looks up, her expression shifts from polite curiosity to confusion. I can see the question in her eyes before she even speaks. "Liam?" she asks, her voice tentative. I nod, sitting down across from her. "Olivia, thank you for meeting with me." She studies me for a moment, her brows furrowing. "Riley said it was urgent, but he didn't give me any details." "What's this about?" I take a deep breath, steadying myself. "It's about your husband. David." Her eyes widen slightly, but she doesn't speak, waiting for me to continue. "I've been having him followed," I admit, keeping my voice low. "Not because of anything to do with his job, but because he's been seeing someone. My wife, Julia." The words hang in the air, heavy and damning. Olivia's face goes pale, her hands tightening around the cup until her knuckles are white. She stares at me, speechless, and for a moment I think she might not believe me. But then she lets out a shaky breath, her eyes glistening with barely restrained tears. How long?" "Months," I say, my voice cold and detached. "I have proof. Photos, videos, everything. They've been meeting in secret, using their work as a cover." "I'm sorry." Olivia closes her eyes, her chest rising and falling as she tries to process what I've just told her. When she opens them again, there's no more confusion, no more shock. Just anger. Pure, unfiltered anger. "I knew something was off," she whispers, more to herself than to me. "He's been distant, always working late. But I never thought." I slide a manila envelope across the table, filled with the evidence Riley gathered. She stares at it for a long moment before reaching for it, her fingers trembling. "What are you going to do?" she asks, her voice hollow. "I'm going to destroy them," I say simply. "But I can't do it alone. I need your help." Olivia looks up at me, her eyes blazing with the same fury that's been burning inside me for days. "What do you want me to do?" I lean forward, lowering my voice. "We'll confront them. But not yet. First, we make them sweat. I want to see them squirm, watch them try to explain themselves while their world crumbles around them." She nods, her jaw clenched. "I'm in." We sit in silence for a moment, two strangers bound together by betrayal, united in a common goal. The plan is in motion, and soon, Julia and David will have nowhere to hide. When I return home that evening, Julia is already there, her back turned to me as she prepares dinner. The smell of garlic and herbs fills the air, a mockery of domestic bliss. I watch her for a moment, marveling at how easily she wears her mask, how she's managed to keep her secret for so long. But the cracks are starting to show. She just doesn't know it yet. "Hey, babe," she says, glancing over her shoulder with a smile. "How was your day?" I return her smile, stepping closer to her. "Productive. Very productive." She laughs, turning back to the stove, completely unaware that the foundation of her life is about to collapse. The day of reckoning arrives faster than I expect, but I am ready. Every detail is in place, every trap set. The quiet days of waiting have sharpened my resolve, and now, standing in my living room, I feel the cold anticipation thrumming through my veins. Tonight, it ends. Julia is in the kitchen, preparing another meal she probably expects us to enjoy together, blissfully unaware of the hurricane about to tear her life apart. She hums as she chops vegetables, her movements fluid and relaxed. I almost admire her ability to lie so flawlessly. Almost. I glance at my phone. There's a message from Olivia. "We're ready. Are you?" I send a simple response. Yes. Everything is in motion. Tonight, Julia and David will be exposed. There will be no escape. Hey, Han, I say, stepping into the kitchen. I've got a surprise for you. Julia looks up from her cutting board, smiling. A surprise? What's the occasion? Just thought we could spend the evening together. I know you've been busy, and I wanted to do something special. She smiles, setting down the knife. That sounds great. What did you have in mind? I gesture toward the door. I booked us a table at that little restaurant you love. Thought we could have a nice, quiet dinner. Her eyes light up, and for a moment, I feel a pang of something, maybe regret, but it's quickly swallowed by the rage I've been nursing for weeks. That sounds amazing, she says, leaning up to kiss me on the cheek. Let me just get changed. As she heads upstairs, I slip my phone into my pocket and head for the car. I wait in the driver's seat, my heart pounding in my chest, fingers tapping against the steering wheel. It's almost time. When Julia comes down, dressed in one of her elegant dresses, I smile. She's beautiful, I can't deny that. But beauty doesn't excuse betrayal. We drive to the restaurant, the tension thick in the air though she doesn't notice. She's too busy talking about her day, about the upcoming project, about things that no longer matter to me. My mind is elsewhere, focused on what's coming. As we pull into the restaurant's parking lot, I park in a secluded corner, where Riley's car is already waiting. I check my phone one last time. We're inside. All set, Olivia's message reads. I take a deep breath and turn to Julia, forcing a smile. Ready? She beams at me, completely oblivious. Of course. We step into the dimly lit restaurant, the low hum of conversation and clinking glasses creating a warm, cozy atmosphere. I lead Julia to our table, where Olivia is already seated. Across from her is David, looking as smug and self-assured as ever. Julia freezes the moment she sees them, her eyes widening. For a brief second, I can see the confusion, the panic. She glances at me, her smile faltering. Liam, what is this? I don't respond. I simply gesture for her to sit. Olivia, sitting across from us, stares daggers at her husband. Her face is pale, her eyes burning with a hatred that matches mine. David, however, looks confused. He's already putting the pieces together, but he doesn't yet understand the full extent of the trap we've laid. Julia slowly sits down, her hands trembling slightly as she places them on the table. What's going on? She asks, her voice barely a whisper. I lean forward, my eyes locked on hers. This is where it all comes out, Julia. No more lies. No more secrets. David shifts uncomfortably in his seat, glancing between Julia and me. Liam, what the hell is this? Olivia speaks up, her voice icy. You know exactly what this is, David. You've been cheating on me. With her. David's face pales, but he quickly regains his composure, shooting a furious look at Julia. You told him? Julia shakes her head, panic flickering in her eyes. I didn't say anything. Liam. I don't know what they're talking about. I slam my hand down on the table, causing the silverware to rattle. Don't you dare lie to me again. I know everything, Julia. I've had you followed for weeks. Every meeting, every text, every little lie you told me, it's all here. I toss a folder onto the table, filled with photos and text transcripts that Riley had meticulously gathered. Julia's face drains of color as she stares at the evidence. Her lips tremble, but she says nothing. She knows it's over. David, on the other hand, still tries to salvage the situation. This is insane. You've been spying on us. That's illegal, man. Olivia's laugh is sharp and bitter. Illegal? After everything you've done? You have no right to talk about what's legal and what's not. The restaurant's atmosphere suddenly feels suffocating, the air thick with tension and anger. I lean back in my chair, watching the chaos unfold, a sick satisfaction curling in my gut. They deserve this. Julia reaches out, her voice pleading. Liam, please. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen. It just got out of control. I stare at her, feeling nothing but cold fury. You didn't mean for this to happen. You lied to me, for months. You looked me in the eye every single day and told me you loved me, while you were sneaking around with him. And now you're sorry. Tears well up in her eyes, but I don't care. I stand up, pushing my chair back, my hands trembling with anger. You destroyed our marriage, Julia. You destroyed everything we built. And now you want forgiveness? David stands too, trying to insert himself between us. Liam, look, this isn't all her fault. I made mistakes too. I glare at him, my fists clenched at my sides. Stay out of this, David. You're as much a part of this mess as she is. Olivia rises from her seat, her voice shaking with barely controlled rage. You both deserve each other. I hope you rot in the hell you've created. Julia reaches for my arm, tears streaming down her face. Please, Liam, we can fix this. We can work through it. I pull my arm away, my voice cold and final. There's nothing to fix. We're done. I'm filing for divorce first thing tomorrow. Julia's sobs fill the silence, but I don't look back. I turn and walk out of the restaurant, my heart pounding in my chest. Behind me, I hear Olivia's voice, low and deadly. David, pack your things. You're leaving tonight. As I step outside into the cool night air, I feel a strange sense of peace settle over me. It's done. The truth is out, and the people who betrayed me will pay for their lies. I glance up at the stars, breathing deeply, feeling the weight of the past few weeks finally lift off my shoulders. I never see Julia again. The divorce is quick, cold, and merciless. David's life crumbles as Olivia divorces him too, taking everything in the process. They are left with nothing, no love, no trust, no future. I walk away from the wreckage with my dignity intact, but with a heart hardened by betrayal. And I will never forget the lesson: those who betray deserve no mercy. The game is over.